Hi, this is Nathan Basil, a.k.a. Leslie Vernon, and you're listening to The Timo and Harley Show.
Welcome to The Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there's my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben Hat Trick Harley.
That's me, my man.
I got you on that one. That was a good one for the Ben Harleys.
Yes, sir, it was.
Yes.
How you doing, Timo?
I'm all right. You know what? Happy opening of Christmas shopping season.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Black Friday.
Yeah. In the space-time continuum,
that's right.
I just played the Fragile Pour Some Ice Urge show on Black Friday, Mr. Ben Harley, with brand new T-shirts for stocking stuffers for all those Black Friday shoppers.
Nice.
Yes. And then let's see here. And then you've just come out of a wrestling gig.
Yes.
Now that's the space-time continuum. Yeah, that's the space-time continuum. What we mean by that, folks, is that as you hear this is all in the past. As we record this, it's all in the future.
The future.
The future. So we're speaking to you from the past.
Yes. We could be ghost right now. Ooh, sorry.
Right.
Don't think like that. Sorry.
Let's see here. But so we are in the beginning of the Christmas season. Ho, ho. Good times.
Ho, ho. Yes, sir, my friend.
We like the holidays. We definitely like
I do.
So got a little interesting little tidbit here, Mr. Ben Harley, before I get into what I watched here real quick. My parents now, you've been out here. We're in the wilderness. There's vines hanging and monkeys going and all kinds of things.
Yeah. Witches.
Yeah, exactly. The Saxtown witch. She's out there attending to things. And so there's cats out here, not bobcats. Yeah. There's a couple of, they survived somehow. There's a couple of cats running around, little strays. Well, one of them ends up at my parents' house.
Oh, really?
And so it's basically one of those cats where it's like, I have marked your home
as mine.
You're going to take care of me, love me, and pet me. You don't know where I came from. You're not really sure I'm going to stay around, but for now, you're my owners.
That's right.
So they kind of did that, and so it's a calico cat, all right? Okay. So Chance goes over there. This just happens yesterday. My dad calls me and says, "Do you have cat food?" I'm like, "Dad, you're getting old, man. I mean, it's not that bad. I didn't know you actually had a cat." But so he says, "You have a cat food," and he says, "Well," and he explains what's going on to me and stuff. So he picks Chance up from school. Chance goes over yesterday, sees the cat, and he decides, since it is calico and it's black and orange, he said it reminded him of Halloween, so he named the cat Myers.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Uh-oh. You might want to sleep with one eye open.
Mm-hmm. The cat doesn't seem to run. It just walks around.
Very slowly.
Yeah.
It's always lurking behind something,
right,
coming out of the shadows and stuff.
Right.
That's pretty cool. That's funny.
So we got a cat next door there. As far as I know for now, named Myers. Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous.
Well, I got Snowy around here. He's kind of creepy to begin with. So I just, that's enough. That's enough.
Don't cross that cat.
Everybody's like, that cat's not going to last long on here. Whenever we moved out here, everybody, people live out here. That cat, that's a year ago. The cat looks to me like, "What's up with this joint?"
This place is too mellow.
Yeah, what's up? What's up? Where's all the cars screaming by that I'm running in front of? Huh? Yo, what's up? What we got?
Where's my sewer?
Yeah, exactly. Where's my storm drain? Where's my storm drain? These PVC pipes coming off your drains, downspouts, man, they ain't shit. They ain't nothing.
No.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, exactly. So, well, everything else going good for you, Mr. Ben Harley? Are we getting into
not too bad, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not too bad. I actually was lucky enough. I got to play some hockey down there at the old Huntington Center.
Oh, boy.
My big call up. Yeah. It was like being in the bigs for about an hour and a half. It was nice. Yeah. You know, when I showed up, though, Timo, there was a lot of young guys on my team, and I think they probably thought I was somebody's dad at first. So they might have got nervous.
Here comes the GM.
Yeah.
That's the coach. That guy's too old to be the coach. That's the GM.
Yeah. And it's funny, you know, I'm a little nervous. And then the guy that was, you know, asked me to play, like, oh, I'm not playing today. I'm like, oh, good grief. Yeah. Like, so I'm the oldest guy in the team, is what you're saying. But we ended up winning 10-7, Timo. Oh, yes. I made 42 of 49 saves. It was nice because they had pretty much all the stuff going on, you know, music in between. The only thing they didn't have was they have a big jumbotron. It's not in the middle, but, you know, on one end of the ice, you know, that they televise the game as it's played. But they didn't have that. You know, I'm just too much for that. You know, I think it's too much handsome for that jumbotron to take, my friend. But yes, I was very happy. We won 10-7.
I was to say you held them to 7 goals. I mean, there you go.
Well, here's the funny part. It might be funny. So yes, we're winning like 3-1, Timo, halfway through the second period, and having a great time. About 25 saves. The first goal that got scored on me actually was tipped by my own guy, so it wasn't my fault, you know. But I'm okay. I'm a team player. So 3-1, right?
Yep.
Next thing, it's 3-2. And about 2 minutes later, we're losing 5-3. Ooh. I got scored on 4 goals in the next 5 shots, which really weren't all. I made the save, but it actually popped up and in. Or we had about a 2-minute brain fart, Timo, to where I wanted to crawl under the building
it sounds like
or find the furthest place in Toledo to hide. Yeah. But I couldn't. I had to stick it out. And so we ended up coming back. Yes, sir. And we won 10-7. And yeah, we got outshot too, like 49-41 or something. But yeah, there's some really good players out there, a couple ex-pros, and I had a good time and I didn't get the call up yet to the Walleye. I think maybe they got my name wrong or my phone number wrong.
Maybe they watch TV late at night on Saturdays and don't want that guy at the Fez trying to stop pucks from flying into nets.
Loose cannon.
Some just don't seem right about that, fellas.
Excuse me, my friend. But yes, I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. I tell you what, Timo, when I got out on the ice and all the lights and all the stuff's going on, I'm like, this might be too much. There's a lot going on. But you know what? I was super nervous. But once we started playing, got a couple saves in. It was fun, and there might have been maybe 100, 200 people there. Towards the end, there was about 200 people there, so it was fun, you know. And we had some fans too. So
nice. There you go.
So I had a good time. I got to act like a pro for about a couple hours there.
Just like you do every week on the Timo and Harley show, Mr. Ben Harley. There you go.
For the fact that I had to walk back and forth with my own equipment. And I did get a police escort, Timo. They were having a parade in front of the arena. I'd like to say it was for us, but it was a holiday parade.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, the cops had to help me across the street so I didn't get run over by Ernie or any. Hey, I did see some Shriners, some guys.
You got to watch those guys.
I know those guys. I saw a couple creepy clowns.
You stole their fez. What are you talking about? You got to watch those guys.
Oh, yeah. I got a kinship with them dudes. So.
Sure do.
But yeah, thanks, Tim, for letting me speak on it. It was I just had an absolute blast. It was fun. Nice. Except for 2 minutes.
Yeah, well.
Spot where
well, you know, everybody has their giant mental breakdowns in front of thousands of people. It happens. It happens. Yes, I'm about ready to have that happen here in a day or two. So.
Oh my goodness! Yes, you're gonna blow the doors off the place.
I'm gonna play. As I say, Mr. Ben Hurley, I'm gonna rock. Then I'm gonna roll.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. So let's get to what I watched here quick, Mr. Ben Hurley.
Right,
once again, as I'm trying every week, I'm going to do this faster than last week, and the show somehow is going to get longer. And I'm going to blame you. I'm always going to blame you. It's my go-to thing to do is blaming you for any issues or problems.
It's a good go-to, my man.
That's true. That's true. It's solid. It's a solid go-to when there's an issue.
Yes,
so let's see here. Let's start off to freak you out with something that's brand new, like 2018, 2017. Did not write the actual date down, but this is like literally a brand new type of thing. Movie.
Okay.
It's called The Night Eats the World. It's like a party. You've seen this before. There's like a party going on. I think it's in Paris, and a guy like goes and locks himself. He's all depressed about a girl that's there or something like that. He goes into a room, locks himself in the room, wakes up. The apocalypse has occurred.
Oh, jeez.
That's
not good.
It's pretty much a zombie apocalypse here.
Okay.
But what makes this movie a little different? I'm not going to go, it's about the people. Nah, not really.
Is it about the people?
It's more like, let's say, a origin story to the Omega Man story.
Okay.
Like, how did Charlton Heston get that whole building all secured and stuff like that? So it's basically a guy that he wakes up alone, sort of alone in an apartment building, goes to the apartment building, tries to clear it out of zombies, and then tries to make it into his fortress.
Okay.
You know, basically, and stuff like that. It was all right. It was okay. I sat there through the whole thing. It wasn't super gory or anything like that. Zombies were a little different. I think they were blind. They could only hear. So they stood real still until they could hear something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was, it's not, I think it's streaming on Prime. It's not that bad. I know you don't like zombie films, but
some of them.
Yeah,
just oversaturated.
That's true.
With them.
Yeah. If this
that was my issue.
Right. If they all came out and they were this quality, we probably wouldn't have the same issues on it. It's not the greatest film I ever saw, but I did watch it, sat through it. It held my interest. I'm not going to watch it every day. It's got a pace to it. But it kind of works for this kind of movie because he is trying to go through the building and figure things out and how do I survive and everything. So not too bad. All right. Okay. Not too bad. So let's see here. Moving on. Another new movie, Mr. Ben Harley. From 2017.
Holy mackerel.
Not only that, but
I
don't know because it's not only is it from 2017, but it's kind of another zombie-esque type movie song. Kind of on an undead freak out.
I guess so.
Yeah, so this is a Canadian film.
Nice. Yeah. Nice.
Trench 11. Now get this. You might like this.
Okay.
You've seen this type of story before too. And I like this cliched story. Okay. But here's what's not cliched. We're in the World War, Mr. Ben Harley, but not the second one, the first one.
Really?
World War I. There is a trench in Germany, okay, that the Germans are working on nefarious things. Now, the Germans have discovered
they weren't nefarious at all.
Right. Well, this is before Nazi. This is World War I. Remember.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying these guys were any whole lot better. Yeah. They were
Kaisers,
just
much more.
Yeah, they were like Nazis with a bit more subtle racism, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
They didn't have a certain symbol for it yet. They're working
boiling
on it.
Over.
They're getting there. Yeah. They're getting there. Give them a little time. Relax,
Right.
But so they have this underground bunker that the Allies want to get to it's almost the end of the war. It's really close. Everybody knows they're going to lose. Everybody knows Germany's going to lose. It's basically a time in a war you're trying to figure out how to get out of it with some kind of honor.
Okay.
And this movie takes place from the point of view of the Americans and the Germans, which is interesting too. So they had this bunker and the Nazis want to destroy, the Germans, they weren't Nazis. The Germans want to destroy it. The Americans just want to go and see what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
The Germans want to destroy it because if they don't destroy this bunker, they will never have a peace. They will never have a surrender with honor. Because if the Allies find out what they're working on in there, it's not going to be good for the Germans. It's not going to be good for the Germans or humanity. So it's a little bit of a zombie movie again. Okay. Underground. But I like this movie. I actually thought it was pretty good. I would suggest it. I got it off Netflix DVD, believe it or not. So I'm not sure how available this is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, but I do know you can get it on DVD. Again, Trench 11. I thought it was really cool. And the movie, one of the main guy you kind of follow in it is a Canadian. They call them they call them tunnelers. They're like experts at investigating enemy tunnels. Let's put it to you that way. So they're real good at figuring out this stuff out. So That's like kind of the main guy. Now he's not some superhero. He's a grizzled guy about ready to blow his own head off. You know, he's not real happy. Yeah. He's like, I'm done with this war. You know, come on, let's get to it. You know,
right.
Not bad, not too bad though. So those are a couple newer movies that were kind of zombie movies that were like, okay, now these aren't straight zombie movies. These aren't Romero zombie movies. But when you have the population looking pretty pale, running around and killing and biting people, that's zombies. That's
zombies.
In 2018, it's zombies. Technically, they're undead. Okay, but I'm not arguing about the zombie thing like I do with Frankenstein's monster. I ain't doing it. Zombies are voodoo things, undead. Romero said I called them the undead, not zombies. Everybody else called them zombies, but they let it go. Start calling zombies. Fair enough.
Right.
In fairness, the monsters aren't that much different. Whatever. I'm not arguing with this one. I'm sticking with my Frankenstein argument.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Again, moving on, Miss Benham. Moving on.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go backwards in time here, quite a ways. 1931.
Okay.
I don't know why I did this. Don't know why, but I just had a little curly hair up the old wazoo to watch Dracula again.
Dracula, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to pop it in again. It's not that long of a movie or anything. And it's really, what's funny is that it's growing on me because the story has less romance in it. And plus we have Edward Van, Don't Call Me Halen Sloan. And Dwight Fry, Edward Van Sloan and Dwight Fry just rule. And the guy Carl Friend who did the photography, man, talk about some fucking atmosphere. He was moving the camera around on dollies and things like that. And it's just really cool. It's like the whole atmosphere, the whole thing is cool. And just not, it's just Bela Lugosi going, good evening.
You're not into chilled.
It's hard. I like it, but I don't. I like it for the nostalgia of it. But it's just something about it. I love Lugosi's Igor. I love all that stuff. I love him in White Zombie. I mean, I think he's great. It's hard for me sometimes, but it's grown on me, and I'm trying, Mr. Ben Harley, because it's hard to be who I am.
Trying.
Well, it's hard to be who
I am. Watched it again.
I know. It's hard to be who I am and disparage the old Dracula movie, but I got to be honest about it. But it's getting. I'm trying, and I'm appreciating things that around the things I don't like, so I can at least say that's all right. Yeah. So that's where I'm kind of at right now. Awesome atmosphere. Very cool. It was, basically the first talking horror picture, supernatural, I guess. Yeah. So I'm trying here. But it's all right. Not bad. Like the atmosphere, like the photography. It's hard to bet against Dwight Fry and Edward Van, Don't Call Me Halen Sloan. So, all right. Moving on.
Bet against him.
That's right. From 1945. Watch the Val Lewton produced film starring Boris Karloff, Isle of the Dead.
Isle of the Dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that we reviewed that one a couple of years ago. Yes, that's the one where there's like the sickness on the island and they're blaming a evil spirit, for it basically. And Karloff is like a general or some like colonel or something like that. And they get stuck on the island because there's a breakout. So it's almost like another variation on the zombie film, just no zombies.
No zombies.
No, more of a cabin fever sickness type of thing.
Yeah.
What's fun about this movie is it also co-stars one Alan Napier.
Old Alfred himself.
Alfred, that's right.
Good old Alfred. Yeah.
I had a little fun watching that. Angio actually picked that one out. So I was interesting.
There you go, Angio.
Let's see. Moving on. I'm gonna try to keep going up here in years.
Okay.
I didn't start that way, but I'm trying to figure out what to say next. I'm just going to go in chronological order from now on. Okay, here we go. From 1977, I watched on Prime. I watched the movie Welcome to Blood City.
Okay, and
it is also a Canuck film from 1977.
Yes,
Canadian. 1977. Now you want me to add you another layer of what the hell to it, starring a Jack Palance.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a weird Westworld, Logan's Run, Cabin in the Woods mashup. These people wake up isolated, wearing what looks like Michael Myers jumpsuit uniforms. They get taken back by Jack Palance, who's on a horse dressed as a cowboy sheriff. Takes them back. Takes them back.
Oh, of course.
To a cowboy town where everybody basically has the same story. They were, I guess, left there, and now they don't know why they're there. They don't have any memory of who they are either. They're completely lost as to who they are. So we've seen this in films today too, where a bunch of people wake up in a room, they got to find their way out of the room before they die.
Yeah,
they got a little bit of that. Got a little bit of the cabin in the woods because there are like overseers. There's people sitting in some kind of computerized observation center, watching what goes on, pulling the strings, Mr. Ben Harley, pulling the strings.
Yeah.
So, and we got a little bit of the Matrix too going on in this because we're not really sure how these people are connected and stuff like that, but they're told they're all murderers.
Ooh, okay.
Mr. Ben Harley, did I happen to mention that this is Canadian?
You did. Woo. A lot of Canucks in it, and Jack Palance.
Wow, this one, you gotta. Let me tell you something. This one, you have to get your psyche checked. Make sure you can handle the strangeness of this movie because I was like, the hell? And then at the end of it, you're like, oh, now wait a minute, hold on, what the hell? You know, you're just like, well, what the hell? And then why was that? And what happened? No, what happened? So. Anyway, this is also on Prime. This is some awful full frame like video transfer VHS. It's very blurry, very hissy sound, and you basically like if they have a close up of someone's face, you basically see like an eye. It's really awful panning, scanning. It's shot really wide. You can tell really immediately. But I gotta tell you, and matter of fact, I was texting with our good friend Mr. Cameron Scott because he likes the weird ones.
Yeah. Yeah,
you're a Petri dish guy. I just I button hook you. But he's into strange, bizarre movies too. Mr. Ben Harley, that guy might be part Canadian. We might need to get some blood work done on him before he stays our friend.
Yeah.
Or just have him move up by you. One of the two. So yeah, very, very, very strange. I'm not going to recommend it, but if you're into weird shit, like why haven't I seen this? There you go.
This is why.
This is why, right. All right. Moving on. Let's see here. From where am I at? That was 1977. Oh, shoot. I missed one. From 1966, watched a movie called The Sound of Horror.
Ooh, okay.
This one is it was a Spanish film from Spain.
Spanish, oh.
Yeah, so these people are on they're isolated once again. Isolated people is always good in a horror film. Isolated in the Greek mountains. And they set off a cave explosion and are menaced by a prehistoric, invisible, shrieking dinosaur. Invisible. That proceeds.
That's a good way to save on the budget.
That's exactly right. And it proceeds to rip the cast to shreds. For 1966, we got a lot of blood and gore because we got no monster. So we got a lot of ripped up faces. And it's actually really good. There's one close up of a guy's like belly getting ripped in half. You're like,
oh, really?
And you pretty much have like the I guess effects value of the Fly sequels. Yet you get a ripped open stomach with blood coming out of it in black and white 1966. So it's pretty interesting. We're like, hey, that's some gore right there. This was also Ingrid Pitt's feature film debut. She did a lot of Hammer. Hottie lesbian vampire movies and stuff.
Hey.
Nice to see her in a young Spanish film. Let's see. It's a little bit slow and everything, but we do have Attack of the Crab Monsters now, don't we?
Oh yeah.
I want to remind you that. I'm going to keep reminding you that.
Oh yeah, I know. I actually was going through putting some stuff in my watch list, and I came across that again. I kind of shuddered a little.
Yeah. Its eyes just kind of stare at you and hypnotize you. Yeah. Let's see. I think this one's from 1990. Mr. Ben Harley. Doesn't really matter because we all know this film. Angio and I went back and watched the original Total Recall.
Oh yeah.
Okay. With Arnold.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it was funny. Yeah, I mean, it's funny to go back and watch that. What's funny is it's Rob Bottin did the effects for that.
Oh, did he? Okay.
And what's funny is when they fall into the Martian atmosphere and start gyrating and their eyes start popping out like Roger Rabbit or something.
Yeah.
He's gonna kick out of that. It's worth watching the whole damn movie almost for those scenes,
One of my favorite jokes I ever heard a comedian say was, because I'm like this too, and having a wife and girlfriend, Timo, right?
Mm-hmm,
You know how it goes. Some girls like more blankets than others. Well, sometimes you wake up and there's blanket, like I'm just swaddled in blankets, and I wake up and the joke from the comedian was same thing. He's like, I woke up like Arnold from Total Recall, trying to breathe, get out from under the cover, and I'll never forget it. And it's like, it's just funny because I feel the same way. But yeah, that's a funny movie. I saw that in the theater too.
I saw the drive-in twice.
Oh wow, actually, nice.
Trying to figure out the hell.
That's a good one.
I'm great.
Yeah. It's I don't know about the belly guy. That part's kind of
I know, but
was that Scott Wilson?
No, that wasn't. That was another character actor. I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I hear what you're saying, but no, it wasn't him.
Yeah,
it's a Scott Wilson. Like I wish it's an almost Scott Wilson. Like when they were born, like when he was born, he was like, oh, spanked it on the butt and started crying. And said, you have a baby boy, almost Scott Wilson. And they handed the baby by its foot, handed it to the mom. So anyway. Let's see. Moving on, Mr. Ben Harley from that. That was kind of fun to watch. It's not getting any better, not getting any worse. So I did have a lot of comments about how it's much better to watch a movie with all those practical sets and effects.
Oh yeah.
There's something that is not spoken about, including by us sometimes. So when we talk about CG, not always the characters. Sometimes it's the sets that are CG'd, and a lot of times it's CG'd, and that bothers me almost more than the characters. I love a good set. I just went back and watched Dracula again for the sets. You know what I mean? So I really love a good set. And that's kind of cheating, I think. That is cheating. Yeah. You can make a set for crying out loud, Mr. Mayor. Moving on.
I'm telling you.
Here we go. Moving on. Speaking of this, we also discussed sets and building things instead of CG. Also, I don't know why we did this, but we went back from 1995. We watched Waterworld.
Well, what?
Yeah.
You did? On purpose?
On purpose. Just got it on Blu-ray, got it from Netflix. We were kind of struggling for something to watch. Angio said, listen, I want to turn my mind off. I don't want to think much. I just want to see like maybe some explosions and things like that. I was like, oh my God, Waterworld. Perfect. All right. So we put that in. Now, one thing that I like about watching a movie like Waterworld, and I admittedly, I don't like that. I mean, it's not a horrid movie like they said it was. It's just sort of like, it's just kind of there. But it was also the most expensive movie ever made at that time. And you want to talk about some sets and some practical effects and explosions and stunts and things like that. They're all on display here.
Yes.
So if you can sit there with your friend or your girlfriend, who happens to be my wife, who's my friend, I sat there with, it was great. I sat with my wife and my friend and watched it. It happened to be the same person. You can kind of talk and have a little eye candy and some explosions and water, mud wrestling or whatever the hell they do in that movie. I will say Dennis Hopper's pretty good in that movie.
Yeah, he's nuts. He's out of control.
Yeah, and I forgot when he lost his eye, and the people that are his henchmen tried to replace his eye.
Yeah,
I think it looks good. I think it looks like shit. No, that was pretty funny. But it was interesting. Here's another little thing, Mr. Ben Harley.
Yeah.
We would never have noticed this when we saw it back in the day. And I'm not sure that we go back and watch this movie too often.
Yeah.
Jack Black is in it.
He is, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
1995, Jack Black. I was sitting there watching it, and the camera panned across people.
Yeah.
And I went, whoa. And she's like, what? And I rewound it and panned it back again. And I was like, that's Jack Black. And I went and looked, and sure enough, it was Jack Black.
That's funny.
Ben Harley.
That's awesome.
If he would have had like a major role in the film with a lot of dialogue, I would never have known it. I would have been looking at his watch, wondering if the continuity was off or not. I wouldn't know. But kind of like how I found Arlie Ermey in what was that was
Killer Fish or whatever.
Yeah, I even forgot the name of it now.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't want to
and I know that movie. I can't think
Up
of
from the depths.
Yeah, up from the depths. Thank you. Yes.
No thanks.
right. So speaking of that, Mr. Ben Harley, I just saw yesterday, we did post about our previous show where we were talking about Sleepaway Camp. And Rob Wagner gave us a little bit of info on that. No. Our good friend, Mr. Rob Wagner, now currently from the band Space Trucker, decided to tell us that the old African-American guy that I was making fun of for being a horrid actor is James Earl Jones' father.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. We might need to get Rob like almost like in a Hollywood Squares thing where he just sits off to the side, and every now and then you hear
we'll ring into him. Yeah.
Like that. It's like, yes, Mr. Rob Wagner. I'd like to say that was James Earl Jones' father. Are you fucking with me now? No, I'm not.
Yeah,
all right, yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah, but anyway,
I'll use him as my lifeline.
Right. Anyway, well, Waterworld is what it is. There was some funny parts too, and stuff like that. But we got through it finally. Let's see here. Yeah, it sure is. Two more things, Mr. Bernhard. I've been trying to roll through. God dang it, it's already, man. I'm trying here. Two more. So first out, I just wanted to mention this. I'm on a James Bond freak out.
Oh, yes.
Yep. So far, I've gotten through You Only Live Twice, Diamonds Are Forever, and Never Say Never Again, which I want to add was the early 80s one where Sean Connery came back.
Sean Connery. Yeah.
He came back as James Bond. And but it's got a great shark attack and a sunken ship that I forgot about. And it's to be frank with you, it's not shot like a horror film. Yeah. But it's the best shark attack I've seen. I mean, the sharks are coming through this
That's coming through the boat,
the sunken ship. Yeah. And I mean, it's bashing through walls. And I think there's more than one. And they're coming after James Bond. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I wanted to note that because and most of these movies right now are streaming on Prime. In 4K, actually. They look great. Look absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I didn't know they were in 4K, though.
Yes, but they look fantastic. So if you get a chance, it's been a freak out I've been enjoying. So good. I like that. So a lot of the Roger Moore and the, which I grew up more with Roger Moore, and Sean Connery. Yeah. I've appreciated Sean Connery as I got older, realizing, he's probably kind of superior to Roger Moore, but we grew up with him. He's our guy, he was. He's our Doctor Who.
I didn't even know there was another James Bond.
Right, exactly. And after Roger Moore, I could care less. To be honest with you, I didn't really get into any of that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Moving on. Last up, Mr. Bunhard. This one I've been saving. Sure. I've been saving this.
Okay. One. Oh, nice. What you got?
We watched from 1958, and I hope I saved this for good reason because I think you know this movie and like it. We watched A Night to Remember.
Oh, yes.
The Titanic movie?
Right. Yes. Yes, sir. What'd you think?
Well, I've been seeing it quite a few times. But what happened was we were watching Waterworld, and I sat there on my...
You went in the water freak.
Well, I sat in my hands the whole time because one of the funny twists at the end of that movie is when the ship is sinking, when Dennis Hopper's ship is sinking, it says Exxon Valdez.
Oh, yeah.
And I was joking about it, and we were watching the ship sink, and somehow I said... This movie went way over budget and it tanked, unlike Titanic, which had a bad rap when it came out because it was so expensive, but it made a lot of money because people loved it as opposed to Titanic. Yeah. So I was going back and forth with the NGO talking about the history of the two films, how they could be so similar yet so different. And I said, but I go, let's just be honest here. I go, the absolute best Titanic movie, hands down. No, don't argue with me. Don't try. It's a Frankenstein monster argument. Stop. The best Titanic movie is A Night to Remember.
Yeah,
that's what I told her. And so we watched it, and Ben Harley, I watched coming back and watching it now on the Blu-rays. I might add, coming back and watching it. My God, James Cameron. I'm watching this movie going, this looks almost just like Cameron's Titanic. And I haven't watched it with these goggles on before, Yeah. I went to my trusty IMDb app and went to the trivia, and sure enough, James Cameron lifted a lot of scenes on purpose and was completely, this was the film he based Titanic off of. This was his inspiration for it. And I mean, there are lines that are lifted. Exactly.
Really?
But here's the thing. Titanic rings in at what, 9 hours long?
8.5.
Oh, I thought it was a little longer. I thought I was being nicer, but anyway. This is James Cameron's Titanic without all the stuffing.
Love story.
It's like there's mild
drawing.
Yeah, there's people that they even had the common folk dancing, the second class passengers dancing. They have that whole story. It's there. It takes up about 5 minutes of screen time, the whole movie, it's not, this is what I told Angio. I said, the reason that A Night to Remember is the best Titanic movie is because it's about the Titanic and the Titanic ship sinking and what happened. It's almost like the Tora of Titanic movies, because like Tora is just what happened in Pearl Harbor. It's cut and dry. This is what happened. Here's the characters. Yeah, you might say, I'm married. There's your backstory. Now let's move on to what's happening. That's kind of like
got
this
a photo in his locker.
Yeah, and that's about what this is. It's just a magnificent movie, and I'm telling you, there's a couple moments where the boat, which is probably in fairness the size of a Volkswagen, a couple moments where the boat kind of looks a little Godzilla-esque, but not when it's sinking, and they're right next to it and stuff. That's a really good, well put together film. That's a huge. Listen, I don't do this usually with movies that I'm just watching, but this is a huge great movie. I love this movie. I mean, A Night to Remember. If you think Titanic is great, you should watch A Night to Remember. And I know it's black and white, 1958 and stuff. It's just about the Titanic. It's not about all the other horse shit around. Same characters in the movie.
Yeah.
Say, Molly Brown's in it. The whole thing. The
Unsinkable.
The Leonardo DiCaprio character. It's just not really following Leonardo DiCaprio. It's following the boat and following the people involved with the boat. He is an example of what happened to people on the ship.
Yeah.
And that's thank you. Thank you, Roy Ward Baker, who did a lot of like cool horror anthology movies and shit that we reviewed. That's the same guy who did that movie. He knew how to make a movie. He put it together. He gave the audience and the public a story about the Titanic. It's about the zombies, not about the people.
Exactly.
Same thing.
I remember when I went and saw it in the theater, and I came home and I was living at home.
Whoa! A Night to Remember?
No,
like,
Titanic.
Jesus, you're about 3 years older than I thought you were.
Yeah. Well, I took the horse and buggy there. And
I didn't know how long it took American Phils to get up to Canada too, so I shouldn't make fun of you.
Yeah, that's like a new. Wait, there's another Titanic movie? You're telling me?
Yeah. Do you still wait on your airport for the Beatles to arrive too?
Yeah, I heard the new AC/DC Back in Black's coming out soon.
Okay, yeah. So you saw Titanic in the theater. Sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. And I remember coming home, and I've always been fascinated by.
I know,
yeah. So I came home and I remember, and I was somewhat depressed a little, but I just remember saying to my mom, "Is it wrong that I felt bad for the boat?" I did. I just felt bad for the boat. I mean, I felt bad for the people. Come on, but you know what I mean. Yeah. After a while, I'm just like, for me, it's just like, wow, I felt. Is that wrong? I mean, I know it's not a real thing, but it is, and seeing a ship sink to me is like the most awful thing in the world. It is, or seeing maybe a plane crash, but you know what I mean. Like it's to me, it's awful.
What's the one thing you remember about that movie? I guarantee it's the same thing I remember.
Her getting her picture taken or drawn.
What's the second thing? That's not it, but I get what you're saying when she's nude. Yeah, I get that. What's the second thing that you remember?
Boat cracking in half. I don't know.
The one I always remember is a guy falling off the boat going ping.
Oh yeah, and hitting the rudder, or he hits the oh my god, the prop.
Okay, I got you. Okay, well that's what I remember. The guy falling going ping. I was like, yeah.
I almost said that.
Yeah, for like 4 hours, I'm going, when's the boat going to sink? I think it's a chick flick.
Yeah, it is. Oh, definitely. It's got its moments that, it takes too long to get there. And I don't know. My whole thing with Cameron is, and then he did that whole thing with Titanic, and God bless him. God bless his heart.
Yeah.
But his scenario is, well, why didn't they back up and park up to the iceberg and then get off on the iceberg? Are you kidding me? What kind of sense does that make?
Mm-hmm. We've seen Orca. That doesn't work out.
Oh, God, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's not going to happen, man. That's a gigantic ship. And I mean, never mind. It's
right.
Whatever.
Well, I just remember when that movie came out, Don Bailey and myself were doing 313, the club in town, the music club. And that's when it came out. And I remember a couple of our bartenders that were young ladies. Yeah. We had gorgeous young ladies, by the way, for our bartenders. But they came back and were just talking up this movie. They've said they watched Titanic like 2 or 3 times. They were just googly over it, and that's when I got suspicious. So Fragile Porcelain Mice's agent at the time was from William Morris, and he would get Academy screeners for the Academy Awards. These are on the VHS days. So he actually got a Academy Award screener for Titanic, and sent it to me. while it's still in theaters and stuff, which is pretty cool at the time, you know. So widescreen even, yay. You know, that's a big deal on a VHS. But anyway.
Check you out.
Yeah. So I remember me and my, at the time, girlfriend, we sat down and we were all fired up. We were ready to watch this thing. We put a couple blankets down the front room, laid down, got all comfy and stuff. Like, here we go. We're going to watch this movie. And I'm telling you right now, I know I looked over about an hour and a half then and went, when's the boat going to sink? You know, I just was like, I couldn't stand it. I hated it. And I mean, I hated it. And I was like, oh my God, I hated it like I hate most movies today. That's tough. That's tough. That's stern. That's rough. And I couldn't stand it. But anyway, anybody listening who has not seen A Night to Remember, hasn't seen it for a long, long time, find it, go back, get it, rent it, do whatever, run it on streaming or do whatever you can and watch it.
It's well worth it.
It is well worth it. It is the best Titanic movie of all time. What you got, Mr. Ben Harley?
I don't got nothing.
No, I don't believe you. No, I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Let me see what I got here, my friend, in my bag of tricks here. Whoa. Oh, yes. Okay, Timo. You know, Timo, it's funny. I've been keeping on with my Monkeys television show. And it's funny because...
We got monkeys to talk about later, but go ahead.
I love monkeys, man. I love the monkeys. But what's funny is it's really weird. Like, every other episode is kind of like a horror episode. This one was... it had Richard Kiel in it as like a Frankenstein's monster. And they were trying to teach him how to be like a pop star. And they were, you know, draining the monkeys, you know, like they would drain their, you know, their voices and their
essence.
To make
force.
him. And to, you know, and Richard Kiel was awesome. It was funny, but it was just a cool one. But it's funny, like every other one lately has been either a hardcore, like mystery, you know, or a horror one, which is pretty cool.
Now, have you figured out what channel you're watching this stuff on?
It's FETV. So
is it on your antenna or is it on your satellites?
It's on my satellite. Yeah, on DirecTV. Yeah, FETV. Yes, sir.
It's a new one on me. I haven't had satellite for a couple of years, so I wasn't sure. Okay.
But I thought you'd appreciate hearing that Richard Kiel made, and you know they had the Frankenstein character, you know, and an Igor character, you know, so it was cool. It was funny. Nice. But I won't tell you about the other one. That's kind of silly.
Okay.
I tried to make Davy Jones a boxer to take a fall, you know, type thing. It was pretty. It was still a good one.
That's too much intrigue for me. I want the boat to sink. Come on.
Exactly. Timo, let's I watched another one of Eli Roth's thing.
You did stop it. Come on.
Yeah, this one was about ghosts. Yeah. This one was about ghosts. But I know you like The Haunting, right, Timo?
I do like The Haunting.
They did talk about The Haunting. Most of it I just kind of there's nothing really in it for me. Not too much. I'm trying to think what they didn't really do too many Paranormal Activity. They did you know, The Ring, and they did do Poltergeist. So that was about the only one I really showed much or any interest in. But of course, you know, what was it about suburbia and destroying the suburban life and blah, blah, this and cadavers in your swimming pool because Ronald Reagan doesn't like old people or... I don't know. You know,
we're really, I mean, people really like have lost their minds.
Come on,
they've lost their minds. This is entertainment and escapism, folks.
No, it's not. It's about destroying suburbia and how there's, you know, still evil in suburbia. Whatever. I don't come on.
It's like when I write a song, I make it about something that's much more deep and important about a year after it's written than I did when I was sitting there trying to make a word rhyme.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's ridiculous. No, those are just because people have swimming pools in their backyard. And what's scarier than thinking a corpse floating up to you?
All they did was take down the headstones and build houses over top of it.
That was before they invented basements, I guess, too. So.
You know, hey, there you go. So
it could be kind of hard.
I will say though, Poltergeist did scare the shit out of me.
That's a great movie. I mean, it was a great movie.
It scared me. It really did. It tapped into things that at that time for me were pretty touchy, I guess, just scary. I was like, ugh, you know, and then the whole, when he rips his face apart, that scene was intense for a kid to watch, for anybody to watch.
That was a tough PG. That was a solid, hard PG. Yeah.
And I've never really been scared of clowns too much, but like that clown was creepy in that movie. That's just the whole thing with the thunder and lightning counting, stuff. That was just good. That's good writing too, So I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah. So Eli Roth.
Nah. Just stay away from that thing. I don't know what you're trying to pull there.
Yeah.
You're going to pull a hammy. You got to stop that. You got to get away from that show. Right. I'm telling you though, I know what you're saying. It's like, and it's not even, there's something deeper. There's something like one layer under. It's not like a politics thing, because we're all sick of that. It's not, it's almost like that has caused people to think that they're all the smartest people in the room. And they will add layers upon layers to things. Now, if let's say Eli Roth himself thinks that, I kind of saw it as that. That's fine, but don't tell me the lighting technician with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and his butt cheeks hanging out of his pants gives two craps about why the political reason a corpse comes up out of the pool. It's just not there. It's just not there. And you know what? I think what these people don't understand is that there is what Hollywood doesn't understand. It isn't about what they believe. Right. There is a thirst for just general entertainment that we all can enjoy together. That's all it is. And they don't get it. They think it's something against them. It's not. People are tired of hearing it. They want to be entertained. Yep. Gene Simmons said it best. Gene Simmons, I can't believe I'm going to. Gene Simmons said, "I think entertainers ought to stick with what they're good at. Like tap dancing and juggling and stuff."
And entertaining,
and entertain. That's what he meant. He just meant, and he's putting himself in that. It's like, I think we're just better off doing what we're doing, and I think society needs it. We need escapism together. As people, no matter what you think or believe. I mean, it's hard for me because I don't hate people for what they believe. And that's a hard thing to do in 2018. And I think that you need to quit fanning the fires. That's the problem. Eli Roth sitting there talking about stuff doesn't make him look any smarter. It doesn't help anything. He's pandering to his friends.
Sure.
And that's what he's doing. It's not working for people out here. And once Hollywood realizes that again, the 70s, they can't figure out why those movies are so big.
Yeah.
They can't figure out, how can we replicate that? Just make a movie about people doing everyday things. Don't talk about who they vote for or make some kind of obvious underlying thing. Just do it. But anyway, Ben Harley, stop watching that show. You're making me get on a soapbox. What the hell's
well, I'd fast forward through most of it. I couldn't do it. You know, so, okay. One thing I got a lot to speak on, but the other I'm just going to go through real fast. I started watching Rodan yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And I'm only about, maybe 20 minutes into it, but I'm not a big Rodan fan, but Rodan, the movie, is a great movie. And I forgot how scary the beginning of it is. It's much more of a horror film, like the first 20, 25 minutes of that movie. And I remember as a kid, it freaked me out, just scared the hell out of me. And so I've been going back because Timo sent me a nice Blu-ray of it.
I like to agree with you, by the way, what you just said about the beginning of that movie. I'm on board with you 100% on that. That's
the shit out of me.
It's a scary movie in the beginning. Yeah. Reminds you how these big giant dinosaurs and guys in rubber suit movies can be pretty scary for a kid.
Yeah. And it looks great. It looks really, really good on Blu-ray. So I'll get back to you when I finish that one up. One thing that I did also watch right before Rodan. Okay, I have seen the first Planet of the Apes, the new ones.
Okay,
So I don't know what the first one was. It Rise of the Planet of the Apes? Or I don't know, Planet of the Apes.
I like the first one. I liked yes, I believe you're right. I liked the first one a lot. Yeah, I liked the first one.
Now, I haven't seen the second one. I know a little bit about it. But we've had the third one around here for the longest time. So finally the other day I consented, say, go ahead, throw it in. So we watched that. I didn't know if I wouldn't, know enough, but whatever.
I haven't seen that one yet. I've seen the first two. I didn't like the second one. I
think it's as long as Titanic.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Because I watched it in two parts, and the second part I was like, oh, God, when's this going to end? It was so long. So, and I don't know. I don't want to kick those movies because I like them better than the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes thing that he did.
Right. Yeah.
I hated that one. Oh, I hated it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate the way it looked. I just hated what it did. But then this, I just don't know why I don't like these ones. I'll have to see the second one. I think it's because I'm not really so much on the side of the apes, really. And because I don't know that in the first movie ever, the first Planet of the Apes was just, first off, he talked and no of the other humans talked. You know what I mean? And that was different, and they were on the Planet of the Apes, and I like that better.
Mm-hmm.
That, and it was more scary to me.
These are all like prequels. They're all like prequels. Yeah. So they're basically doing what you don't like. They're explaining Michael Myers.
Yeah.
They're telling you his mom was a stripper and he was upset about it. Yeah. That's what these movies
and I just don't agree with Caesar so much. Now I understand it, but I didn't empathize with him as much as in the first one. So I guess maybe that's one of the reasons I'm not I don't know. And here, Timo, this is the other thing, and this is going to sound stupid, but this is me, and I apologize. I get enough in my everyday life from media and everything else about how bad, first off, humans are, and how bad we are, and how bad we are for the environment, and how bad America is, and how bad America is for the earth, and blah, blah, and how I can't take it. Mm-hmm. I don't really, I guess it gets back to the escapism stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, this one, I'm not going to give away the ending. The ending's okay, I guess. But I don't know. I just don't know.
I think if the first film to me could have been a standalone movie to being like, aha, that's what started the Planet of the Apes. And then let your mind fill in the rest. Because to me, the second one, I could care less about it. I was like, I really liked the first one. I thought it was very interesting to see how things were happening and that there was oh my gosh, there's a like a virus involved with this.
Yeah.
And, that's how people got messed up. And, okay. And I was very intrigued. And then to see, a monkey or whatever, an ape get released into the woods, you don't need any more. Yeah. You know how biology works. You know how life works. This was the start of evolution of the apes. And that was perfect. Yeah. And I was like, that's great. Then it's like, what? There's another one? Oh, you're going to show a battle between the apes now? I mean, it's like, oh, for God's sake, and then it got to be too much.
Yeah,
it got to be too much, but the first film was also about how we're bad and we're terrible as humanity. Yep. But
that's why I didn't like it.
Well, I mean the original Charlton Heston, but it did it in a way we could all agree with. I don't like nuclear war. I don't like exactly. I don't like nations warring against each other because it's really politicians trying to figure out whose dick's bigger. I don't like it. Okay, so I think we can all rally around. We don't want to have bullets and bombs dropping. No. I think we can do that. I think we can all figure out. Fine. But that is still escapism because we all agree on that. It's like, we all, and whether you think the other side does or not, trust me, you agree. They all agree. They don't want bombs dropping on our fucking heads.
No.
So that we can all agree on. This was like, I didn't see a lot of that. I saw a Frankenstein story in the first one. Playing God, playing Mother Nature and stuff like that. And I was fine. But you're right. As you get you keep lecturing audiences. That's the other thing with Hollywood I was talking about a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
We're tired of getting lectured. You know what I mean?
Had it.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. It's right. When you're doing the best you can for the planet and for your friends and family, and you're constantly getting lectured when you just want to have entertainment, maybe that's the point. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's it. It's not that you disagree with the message. You got it. You got it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
And if people are tired of hearing this on the show, it's where we're getting bombarded with movies.
Yeah.
And this is how tired of it we are. Ha
Yeah.
Ha right. We just stay away from preaching, but we're sick of being preached to. I think if anything, we rally against being preached to, like in our films and stuff. Let's have fun together. Let's watch these movies together. Let's hold hands. Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, all hold hands and watch Poltergeist and not worry about the politics. So, just get the fucking scared, all right? Have fun.
Right, exactly.
Enjoy each other. Your life's not that bad. You got a good thing going here. Let's keep it going. Anyway, go ahead.
That's it, Timo. That's all I got, my friend. I was a short week
All right.
Watching wise, I should say.
Well, that's all right. Well, I mean, we're going to have another short one next week, I'm sure. So no problem at all. Let's get to our official films, Mr. Ben Harley.
All right, Timo. All right, lay it on me.
From 1940, we'll go in chronological order again. From 1940, we have Chamber of Horrors.
Yes.
Based on the Edgar Wallace story, The Door with Seven Locks.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so let me get you out, movie guy here. You know, I'm going to do something here. I got the movie guy here likes to read the back of Blu-rays and things like that.
He sure does.
But movie guy's getting irritated with.
Is he getting cranky lately?
He's getting cranky because they're long and they're hard, and we find that IMDb seems to be a lot easier. So here's a one sentence synopsis, storyline synopsis for Chamber of Horrors. There we go. A murder is found to be connected to a false heir and a secret underground torture chamber. That's it. That's why I like it more. That's why we like it more. Edgar Wallace makes like a lot of lurid and kind of genre kind of stories and stuff like that. Okay. Anyway, moving on from that. This is like an old dark house, reading of the will, lurid mystery. It's got a nifty plot device about 7 keys that open up a grave or a tomb or a casket, and that lies the key to the mystery. This is definitely about money, definitely about money being left to someone, like the reading of a will type of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
And everything. But basically, it's people trying to get a hold of these keys, hang on to them, steal them from each other, backstab the shit out of each other with these keys, and trying to get to said mystery in the tomb.
Yes.
Am I barking up the correct tree, Mr. Ben Harley?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, my friend. Yes.
Right, take it over.
Yeah. Now it's a lot of family members, right? And it's funny because at the beginning of this, where the old guy's dying, he's like, I think he said he was 55 or something. I'm like, he looked
going
like
on 75.
75. I was like, holy man. I hope, man, the next few years aren't going to be kind to me. I was getting scared. But he pretty much dies right there. He's like, no, I'm not going to last the night. I'm done. I'm out, and basically gives away the keys or whatever. Now he dies and is buried in the tomb on there at the site, right at the house.
In their tomb. Right there.
So the crypt, So now there are a lot of nefarious family members too that are real shady. Real shady.
They're all giving some looks too to the camera.
Yes, exactly. So you really don't know who to trust. So it's a basic setup. Like we've seen so many movies just like this. There is another heir that doesn't know about that. They don't know about, right? And she's a young lady who I like. I like her in this movie. She's actually makes the movie pretty good for me for the rest of it. And her friend's kind of funny too. Her friend's little boy crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little boy crazy. So actually I think they added a little bit of fun to it, I guess. So because if not, it's going to be dreary the whole time. But,
It's a creepy old house movie. Movie stars Leslie Banks, who we know from The Most Dangerous Game. He was a jackass in that. And he collects instruments of torture. That's an interesting hobby to do. He is apparently the descendant of a Spanish Grand Inquisitor. So it's his family is, he's got a lineage of torture. So why not? Hey,
why not?
But again, Edgar Wallace, actually, he's kind of known for, I don't know how accurate this is, but he is given credit for like a lot of the King Kong concept. Edgar Wallace. Now he died when they were producing it.
Sure.
But I think most people say that the main thing that he got to the final product was Kong's human-like gestures and stuff like that. How the Kong was a little more human.
Sure.
So this was based off of his book, Door with Seven Locks, which makes a lot of sense. I like the key thing. I think the key thing is a nifty little plot device. Like it kind of gives you something else to kind of hang your hat on a little bit. There's a UK version, that's an hour and a half long. I can't figure this out. Okay, here's the thing. This release, I've never seen this movie before. Okay. I don't think it's easy to come by. First of all, the print
got another name too, doesn't it?
Well, the door with 7 locks. It was named off of the book when it first came out. Clearly, this is very stitched together. Like the print starts awful. It looks terrible in the beginning, and then it gets better as it goes. You can tell it. You can tell it's stitched together, but there's also an odd runtime to it because apparently there was 2 different versions of the movie. There was a UK version, which this is a British film, a UK film. That film was an hour and a half long, and the American film was supposed to be an hour and 20 minutes long. So what we watched was an hour and 25. So we're like right in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the hell? And I can only account for that. I can only say that has to be due to this stitched together print that we're looking at here, because this looks like it came from different sources. It had to have come from different prints from different sources. So there's a little oddness to it. Yeah. I think it should be about an hour and 5 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a little long.
I think it gets a little talky, and you start to kind of struggle to keep up with all the characters and all of their different motivations and things, or their implied motivations for red herrings and stuff like that. So I'm not even really sure. I guess we watched kind of a hybrid version of both films. But like I said, it's kind of an uneven print and stuff. So that's one thing. And Kino's usually pretty good about that. And this is a Kino release. I was a little disappointed in that. But again, I don't know what's available. This might be a lost film. This might be the greatest find since King Tut's Tomb, for all I know. What's funny, though, is our good pal, Mr. Leslie Banks, who's a handsome fella.
Yes.
Got his own devil monkey. There's a devil monkey in this movie, and he's devil monkeying it up everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah, he's pulling sweaters apart from yarn. He's hanging all over people. He's pooping on Leslie Banks' shoulder. He's a devil monkey.
He's just a general jackass.
Yeah. So we got a devil monkey for no freaking reason except maybe somebody thought a monkey. I've told you before on the show, Mr. Ben Harley, I'm going to stand my ground. Monkeys are always funny.
Oh, yeah.
They're always funny.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me. Yeah. Monkeys are funny. You put a monkey out there, I'm like, ha ha, it's a monkey. Let's just sit back and watch.
I always wanted a monkey like that, one of those. Just like that, his size, that they had like in the Little Rascals.
They're mean sons of bitches. They're strong, too.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they are. Yeah. Gouge your eyes out for a peanut.
You better watch out. You might be getting a package with holes in it.
Right.
Tasmania, it's a devil monkey. Those Tasmanian devil monkeys, you know about those things, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You've been known to charge when cornered.
Yeah, right. I think, it really is a spooky old house movie. If we sat here and talked much more about it, you're just giving away plot points. And half of them got by me anyway, because I was trying to keep up with it. So it's a slow film, but not plot wise. It really does keep pushing you forward. You just have to be in one of those perfect moods.
Yeah.
If you're in the mood for like a complex sort of dark, spooky mystery type of film, man, this is it. If you're in the mood for Waterworld, this isn't it. No, this ain't it. So basically, I'm going to grape ape up it though for that. I think it's not a bad film. I've seen better. I've seen worse. And I really do like Leslie Banks. I think he's a good creep.
He does play good because he's really kind of understated a little. Mm-hmm. So you're not sure. You kind of want to trust him, but you're not really sure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that for me is what's really terrifying because you're not like, he seems like a hell of a nice guy. Wait, he's got an Iron Maiden, right?
Yeah, he's got some torches.
Show it to me?
Yeah, and a devil monkey.
And he's excited about these things? I don't know. I'm starting to get a little more leery of this guy, which I thought was cool. But I did enjoy that he did have an Iron Maiden from Toledo. But not Toledo, Ohio, but probably Toledo, Spain.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that was pretty cool. I got excited for a second.
Right. So. I wish it was a little shorter. I wish they and I was just trim it down some of it. I mean, some of the fat that's unnecessary. And you kind of think about it, but there's not a whole lot of it. It's just a complex. It's based on a novel, and I mean, it's like, so I'm sure they were trying to throw as much stuff in there as they could. And sometimes, as we see even today in adaptations of novels and books, that you can overdo it and you can underdo it.
Yeah.
And I think this one's definitely a little overdone, overplotted.
A little bit.
Without them damn keys, The Keys are great because the Keys kind of reel you back in.
Yeah.
You start like, what are people doing anymore? I don't know what's happening anymore. And all of a sudden, it's like they find a key. A devil monkey knocks over a vase and a key falls out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We got keys we got to worry about. Okay. So you can attach your psyche to the Keys and get through the movie and enjoy it, a little bit more. So complex. I want to watch it again to understand what the hell I just saw. But I know it's all there. I just, it's a movie that I don't want to say it felt like homework. We talked about sometimes when we pick out a film, it feels like homework. I don't want to say that. I just feel like I don't think I was in the total mood for it.
Yeah.
When I saw it, that's not saying it's a bad movie though. That's why I'm gonna mild grape ape up for it. That's what I mean. I think it's a good movie if you're in the mood for it. It's not going to pull you into its mood. Really good movies will pull you in. And it don't matter what mood you're in, you're gonna be fine. Nah, this is a decent movie, but it's a mood piece. It's a mood piece.
Yes. Sure. Yeah. It's one you should watch on a dreary day.
Check. I did that. It still wasn't in the mood. But you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
you're
correct.
So
I just didn't really. I don't know. It was. I don't know.
Are you on the fence?
I'm gonna give it. Yeah. Well, I don't want to poop on it by any means.
No,
because I liked some of it, so it's gonna have to be a real lukewarm. Same thing. Lukewarm.
Okay.
Great.
Mild grape then.
Yeah. Very. Mild. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think if I saw it again in the right frame of mind, and if I actually focus, I tried to focus in on it. It's also hard to focus in when you're trying to write down notes for this review and stuff like that, because you write down a note, you've lost 5 plot points in this movie. Like, well, who's that?
Right.
Like, how's this in color now? What the hell's going on? So
yeah.
Oh well, moving on, Mr. Ben Harley from 1992.
Yes.
I do believe we do have a Devil Monkey free movie here. We have the film Stephen King's Sleepwalkers.
Yeah.
I know. All right, here we go. I'm going to get you a movie guy out and give you a little short storyline synopsis. Here we go. A mother and son team of strange supernatural creatures move to a small town to seek out a young virgin to feed on.
Yeah.
Okay. Boo. I don't know where to start with this thing, man. We both remember when this came out in theaters.
Yes.
You saw it in a theater. I did not. I did not see it in a theater. But right when it came out on VHS, I did watch it. I remember watching it. What we have here is I'm going to start with this. Here we go. Okay. And I don't know if I'm throwing mud here. I don't know if I'm stirring the pot, Mr. Ben Harley. I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm old enough where I don't know if I'm stirring pots anymore because I just see a stirred pot to begin with. So I don't know what I'm doing here. I just want to put this out here. Mick Garris is not a master of horror. That's the director.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mick Garris, I do believe, was responsible for the television series on Showtime, Masters of Horror, and decided to put his own sweet ass in one of those as one of those directors. Yeah, he did Sleepwalkers, and he did, let me see here, he did like 7 more Stephen King adaptations. Now, as far as I know, I think they were almost all for television. Okay. So when we're talking about Mick Garris, let's see here. We're talking about Desperation, Riding the Bullet. These are classics, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He did the, my favorite, the television miniseries of The Shining, which I would like to kick in the testicles. Quicksilver Highway, which doesn't have testicles. I can't kick it anywhere, so we don't do anything. Did this movie. Let's see here. Now, he did do Psycho for the beginning. That was okay.
Okay. It's not bad. Yeah.
Critters 2. Did Critters 2. Not a big fan of Critters 2, but
I'm not a big fan of Critters, period.
Well, not as bad as Quicksilver Highway, though.
Okay.
So he's done a lot of Stephen King stuff. Now, I didn't see anything along this lineage of films to make me think that Mick Garris has done one goddamn thing that anybody could give a shit about. Mick Garris bothers me. You see him pop up when that Digging Up the Marrow movie. You see him pop up everywhere. And he's almost like a self-proclaimed horror auteur.
Oh, okay.
You name if any of those movies I named off you thought was even worth looking at. You tell me, okay?
No, I don't.
I am not a Mick Garris fan at all.
Yeah,
at all. I think Mick Garris should be the second unit director on a soap opera.
That'll wait too long.
That being said, what do you think, Mr. Ben Harley?
Oh, Timo. Well, Timo, I don't know much about Nick Garris except for
now
what
you do.
Just told me. Yes,
that's all you need to know.
And I don't like him already. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is another one of those films, Timo, that I saw in the theater. This ranks right up there with Nightbreed for me, as far as it was just one of those where I kind of sat in the theater thinking, well, I love horror movies, and this is supposed to be by, someone really good, and I should probably really be liking this, but I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And this just was in one of the first in a long string of movies that I just really kind of turned me off horror a little bit. And I just really didn't know what to do. Yeah. So this film, now, I do remember, this is only the second time I've seen it because I refused to watch it after the first time.
I've only seen it a couple times, yeah.
Yeah, so I did remember, got Mark Hamill at the beginning.
Yeah, Mark Hamill was in the beginning.
Was kind of cool.
Yeah, cool cameo. Cool cameo.
And then I do remember the song Sleepwalking is one of my favorite oldies or instrumentals or whatever. I love that song. And I remember in the theater thinking, wow, this is so cool, and how cool music could be for a film, but I mean popular music. So that was really cool. It really got me into the movie. You got Mark Hamill and a song that I like. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool, and then then you got, what's her name? She's a cutie in it, plays the mom and stuff. And then all of a sudden it gets real creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah, Alice Krieg is the mom.
Ancestral creepy.
Yeah.
And I know that, I don't know. It's just, okay. I like Psycho and I like Norman Bates and all that, but I just don't want to see Norman dancing with mother and kissing mother, stuff like that. Okay. Or having sexual relations with that. Just for me, I don't know. It was just, well, now this movie has its merits, Timo. It does has its moments and stuff that I did appreciate, but I blocked a lot of this film out of my brain, and now I know why. And I don't know, Timo. I don't know if you want to carry.
Well, the incest part, look, it's icky, but at the same time, they try to quickly let you know that these aren't humans. Mm-hmm. So they try to sidestep it a little bit.
It's still bad. You can't. Yeah.
It's hard. Brian Krause from Charmed and Return of the Blue Lagoon. Angie knows him from Charmed.
Oh God,
I know him from Return of the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
And Alice Krieg, who the mom from Ghost Story. That's the one that she's in a lot of different stuff. I like Ghost Story. That's what she was to me known for.
Yeah.
They have a bit of incestuous thing going on, and she's basically using Brian Krause, the handsome young son, to lure in a virgin, in this case played by Madchen Amick from Twin Peaks.
I like her. She's good.
She's okay. And then he tries to like seduce her and bring her into the fold so that the mom can suck her life force out or something like that. That's like the whole thing. And then, but apparently these things turn into cat-like goofy monsters.
Yes.
But yet a cat scratch will like kill them.
They're very afraid of cats.
Yeah, they're terrified of cats, yet they are sort of cat monsters. And that's a little odd.
Yes. They're awful looking creatures.
Yeah.
You think Katahdin or the Prophecy Monster look bad?
No, they've got nothing on this. Yeah,
oh God!
I'm much more afraid of a bear.
To show up to eat one of those things.
Yeah, well, just in general, I'm more afraid of a bear than a cat. So I'm just in general, you're already ahead of the game in Prophecy than you are here. You talked about Mark Hamill having his cameo in the beginning, which is kind of cool. Now, here's the other thing too. Clive Barker plays a forensic technician. Stephen King is a graveyard caretaker. And Toby Hooper, John Landis, and Joe Dante they all have cameos in this. What about this movie warranted their participation in cameos? I don't understand this. This is going back to the Mick Garris thing, because I still don't understand how this guy got into the clique. I don't understand how this guy got in. What did he do? Nothing. What did he do to have all of these people do a cameo in this movie? It blows my mind. This is like really his first world problem, secondary stuff here. But it does blow my mind. Now that obviously we're gonna pick this movie apart. It's so much worse than it had to be, you know. And it's not gonna start off good because first of all, I'm not afraid of cats. All right. Yeah. I'm not. I mean, I'm just not. I'm afraid of my cat. But that's different. That's Snowy. You can make like a Jaws type movie around him, and it would work. It would completely work because Snowy's tough and he's mean and he's sharpens his claws on van tires and stuff like that. Now, all kidding aside, still, it's just not there. Now, the one good thing about this movie, I was like, no, let's start off with this interesting thing. The main gal's mom and dad, Cindy Pickett and Lyman Ward. This is probably the coolest thing about this movie. Okay. If you remember correctly, who were those two actors also a parent of in a movie? Can you remember this? Yeah, it was. He was sick. He thought he was sick through part of the movie. And he didn't think he was sick. He was acting sick, so he could stay home. Crap. Oh, Ferris Bueller. Yeah, it's Ferris Bueller's parents. Yeah. Here's the funny thing: they met on Ferris Bueller, and by the time they made this movie, they were actually married in real life too. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's awesome. So that's kind of neat. And that's where the neatness fucking ends. Oh, yeah. Now, there is also another great cameo, a glorified cameo, almost, a small part by Ron Perlman. And this is a cop. That's the best part of the movie. Ron Perlman in this movie, to me, he makes it worth at least looking at and saying, well, at least I got that funny couple moments out of it because he's hilarious in it. Yeah. I mean, he's hilarious in it. There's a joke. I don't even want to give the joke away about a cold draft that I remember from 1992 when I saw this. I remember that joke to this day. I remember it. And I'm waiting to be set up for that joke. And it hasn't happened yet in my life, but so I love just to steal it, but this movie is just, and you're right about this. This movie is what was wrong with movies from this era. It's the post Evil Dead 2 pre-Scream. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's that era where movies were bland. They didn't put enough money into them anymore. And they almost looked like cash grabs. Yeah. In a way. Well, my thing, it felt like in a ways too, is like, oh, these guys are already good and they're great. And you're going to like whatever they put on film. Right. And that's it, man. Yes. And it got to the point where I was starting to think, ooh, no, something's wrong. This isn't good. I'm right. Like, wait, man, is it me? No, because this, and yeah, I just. And this wasn't the era of iconic monsters. That's the other problem we have from this era. That there was no even Evil Dead. There was no Ash. I guess he's kind of an iconic monster character. They're not, like a Laurie Strode or something like that. Right. There was no Michael Myers. There was no even Freddy Krueger, who I hate, but I can't deny he's an iconic horror film character. We had nothing to grab onto. We had movies like People Under the Stairs, where you just had a looming threat, like a nondescript threat almost. And by the time you figured out what was going on, you didn't care or was silly and stupid. Yeah. Which is what this movie was. Like by the time you kind of figured out what was going on, you're like, that's dumb. Mm-hmm. That's dumb. Yeah. That's like a bastardization of the werewolf legend or something. It's just dumb. And you don't even, I don't know. Kind of lifeless. Yeah. I just think it's an awful film. It's an awful film. And I did back when I saw it, and I'd never even tried to see it again. I just, it's just awful. And I don't like this film. I'm going to poop on it. Yeah. I don't want to like this film, and I will not go back and watch it again either. So it's just, I thought it was one we should review. It's from that era. I didn't like it when I saw it either. But, some of these movies we go back to and you find something in them, given the amount of time that's passed since then and some of the crap we've been subjected to. Yeah. Sometimes we do go back and find merit in things we didn't find as much anymore, which is why I like to go back and just try it. Just try it. Let's just see. It's only an hour and a half out of our lives. It's a lot, actually. When it comes to like this, but just try it. This one, think about it. This one has confirmed itself as a resounding. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's just, Little crusty. Little crusty. Awful. Not good. Yeah, this is terrible. I got nothing else for this. It's basically it's a cat lady horror movie.
Yeah.
It's just a cat lady horror movie. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean,
Timo, can I say one thing real quick?
Go ahead.
I'll forget. I'll forget.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this is what throws me too, and I forgot about a lot of the ending of this movie, but like, you know, he's trying to get that girl to take back for his mom, right? And he finally he attacks her in the graveyard after having fun and all that. And it's like she pokes him in the eye and he pulls his eye out. Then it turns into this gigantic comedy skit for about 10 minutes. And everything's funny. He's pulling his eye out. He's shish kebab or cop kebab and all these things. And he's all messed up. He gets attacked by a cat. But like all of it was just, I thought, what is he going to like shift back or something? No, then he goes home and he's like, nah, I'm dying. I'm like, wait a second. 10 minutes ago, you were laughing about this stuff happening to you. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. And I have a real bad problem with, it's the Beauty and the Beast television show thing with, you know how the guy looked and had what's her name from oh my god,
Linda Hamilton?
Terminator. Yeah.
I
don't like the cat face on guys, like on people. Like it's just you see the cat face where it's like and I have a hard time with
you don't
that.
go see the production of Cats at your local theater.
No.
Okay.
No. So it's just weird. And that's what this mostly had. And a lot of it was just like they had the cat face or there was only one really good part towards the end is when the mother was dying. She like jumped on the car and was on fire and said, something. And I was like, wow, that was about the only redeeming thing of this whole piece of crap.
Besides the funny part with Ron Perlman.
That's it.
I'll agree with you on one thing. Like the movie shifts in tone like that and it doesn't work. Ron Perlman coming in by himself doing that's kind of funny. Yeah, but the rest of it around it doesn't really work. Here's the other thing too. Brian Krause to me is not a likable character. He looks like the guy that you hated in high school.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like Brad Pitt is kind of like that too, but he's likable. Sure, you gotta be listen, this is the thing too. It's like if you're casting a film and you're casting a guy, if you want people to go see it, especially a horror film, you gotta cast a guy that the girls are gonna like, of course. But the guys are going to like too. The guys are going to identify with. It's really hard to identify with Brian Krause in this movie. And there's nobody more handsome and muscular than me.
No.
And I can't identify with this guy at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I took a lot of work to get this spot. Took a lot of McDonald's, a lot of, watching movies and stuff to get to where I'm at today. Okay. I just didn't have those brilliant genes that he did. But I'm serious. Like he's not likable by guys, and I'm not sure how likable he is by girls because he kind of has that "I'm going to do you and then I'm going to like tell everybody and leave you" kind of thing going on about him. So I think the movie was trying to play for a bit of pathos for him, like a Frankenstein monster thing where you feel bad for him and stuff. It's really hard to feel bad for him in the movie.
Sure,
he's just not likable, and he does too many crappy things, and he just doesn't work. The pathos doesn't work. No. You just think he's lying to get what he wants. That's it. So he's unlikable. And to be honest with you, too, the girl doesn't really give you much of a reason to like the Madchen Amick or whatever. She's okay. Yeah. She's not really my thing. She's not really my type. That's okay. That doesn't have anything to do with anything. She just wasn't real. I don't know. The only person I like this movie is Ron Perlman. God damn it. That's all it. I wanted him to be the star of the movie, and that was it. I didn't like anything else. So listen, this movie's a big. So I mean, and I know it's from both of us, and
I couldn't do it enough.
Right. So it just hasn't gotten any better. Some of these movies maybe hold up better, something like that. I'll tell you one thing: it hasn't gotten any worse.
No,
it hasn't gotten any worse. So it has held up. If you liked it then, you're gonna like it now.
Oh, yeah, you're going to love it.
Yeah. But if you liked it then, you probably aren't listening to our show, either. Yeah. I just can't believe that because it's just not up our alley at all. We love monster movies, but not this. This is not a gooey, like, I don't know. Mick Garris, to me, everything he does feels like TV. It feels like soap operas and stuff. And it just comes across awful on film. It just comes across awful. I don't like it at all. So anyway, I think we pretty much have convinced the audience that we don't like this film. So let's get the hell out of here. We do not like Sleepwalkers. Pooping all over it. Chamber of Horror is mild grape ape up, little too talky, little too long-winded. It's got a pretty stiff upper lip, which is fine. But you know, it's interesting to go back and look at it, and there's something to be had there. There's way more to chew on in that movie than, let's say, Sleepwalkers. But you got to really look for Chamber of Horrors. It ain't easy to come by, and Sleepwalkers is unfortunately pretty easy to come by. Well, Ben Harley, I don't know what we're doing next week, but let's try to make it a little bit better. We are in the Christmas season for the love of all that's holy, right?
That's right.
I mean, we're in the damn Christmas season. Let's amp it up. Let's ramp it. I don't know what we're gonna do. It doesn't.
Let's do something with it. That's right. Yeah. Come on.
We'll do our best.
Be thankful.
We'll do our best. We'll have to be thankful. And Space Time Continuum, we haven't even hit Thanksgiving yet.
No, we're getting there, though. We are getting there.
Got my turkey, my mashed potatoes, Mr. Ben Harley, ready to go. Ready to roll.
Growling just thinking about it.
That's right. And then the old Angio was looking up how to put up Christmas tree lights on gutter guards. I'm just looking at my wife going, you know that no one lives by us, right? You're doing this for yourself. It's like, well, people drive by a lot. I'm like, we live on a curve on a slim road. If they're looking at our house, we're going to have a lot of wrecks in front of the house. You know?
That's true.
Right. So, but we're going to get back into that Christmas spirit, Mr. Ben Harley, because we fight for it and we love it. We think it's a fun time of year. No matter how you celebrate it. We call it Christmas, but we know it's holidays for everybody. Let's call it what you want and have fun with it, and don't get offended by a different name, something like that. Yeah, or a red cup.
Enjoy yourself. Right.
Anything. Just forget it. Do it yourself. You make it what it is. Right.
That's right.
All right. Well, Mr. Ben Harley, we're gonna make the next show what it is, and hopefully it's a little bit better than this one. So until next time, Mr. Ben Harley, let's stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.